Coming up, Kathy Whirling and Teresa Eccles check out the new and improved Habit Heroes at Epcot's Interventions, the attraction that has been reimagined after the National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance complained about the previous version, and I swear to God I am not making that up. I'm also not going to say anything. I'm just going to leave you with that for a few minutes. Coming up next. This is the Diz Unplugged, episode number 575 for the week of February 19th, 2013. The Diz Unplugged is brought to you by DreamsUnlimitedTravel.com, experts in helping you plan the perfect Disney Cruise Line vacation, which is vastly better than a Carnival cruise, if for no other reason than you're far less likely to deal with no showers, overflowing toilets, and sleeping in hallways while you sit helpless in a drift at sea for 4 days with no food. DreamsUnlimitedTravel.com. We believe you should be able to eat and shower on vacation.
Second time's a charm.
I do like that one. Hello and welcome everyone to the Diz Unplugged, coming to you live from the Bob Barley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends Sean Thompson, Kathy Whirling, Teresa Eccles, Corey Martin, our producer Dustin West, and associate producer Craig Williams back in the Peanut Gallery. In this segment, we have Kathy and Teresa talking about Habit Heroes, and I'm not kidding. It was a complaint from the National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance that had Disney shut this down and redo it.
Fat acceptance?
Well, they, I guess because the villains in one part of it were all like small, chubby people.
Yeah,
and
I have a quote about that. If you want me to say it now, we can.
Go ahead, yeah.
Okay. This one lady, I forget what association she's with, but she says, "Suffice it to say, gone are the obese villains. Gone is the lazy stereotype reinforcing gluttonous kid on the sofa, and in their place are cartoons that tackle the enemies, dehydration, inactivity, and poor nutrition. Gone too are the ridiculously named and further bias, including inducing heroes, willpower, and calisthenics." I thought
Calisthenics?
I thought those names were actually sort of cute.
All right, I'll get mail. I'm going to say something. As somebody, and this is as someone, I have struggled with my weight for many, many years. Okay, I've lost about 30 some odd pounds. Okay, I put a few pounds back on, but I'm going to take those off. I'm heavy. I've been heavy because I made certain choices. There's nothing physically wrong with me. Now, I realize for some people there is a physiological reason why they're heavy. And that's a whole different ball of wax. If there's a physiological reason why your body metabolizes a certain way, or there's an issue that brings about obesity, I'll speak for myself. I was lazy, and I chose to eat crap, and I chose not to exercise, and that's why I was fat. I made those choices. I don't need an association to help me accept that. When I was heavy, I accepted that I was heavy. I accepted that I made those choices, though. I wasn't a victim. People who choose to overeat, people who choose not to exercise, people who choose not to do those things, that's their right to do that. But they're not victims. You're not victims of being overweight. You make choices. So that's why when I see something like that, I'm like, are you serious? No. Should people who are overweight be discriminated against? Of course not. Of course not. You shouldn't be denied a job. Shouldn't be denied housing. But I'm sorry, I don't think we're going to see a fat parade in Selma, Alabama.
No.
Right? I mean,
no.
It's just, what? Am I right?
Are you right? Is he right?
Yeah, you're always right. No, it's true. It's true, though.
Take the alternate. Take the alternate then. Tell me where I'm wrong.
No, it's true. I'm not talking about fat people.
I'm not. Look, I'm not. I'm one of you. So I'm not making fun of fat people either.
I embrace
I'm just
the fat.
saying. I'm just saying. Look, You know, when I was in my addiction, you know, I've shared in the show before, I'm a recovering alcoholic and drug addict. When I was in my addiction, I knew exactly what I was doing. And yes, is alcoholism a disease? Some people say it is, some people say it's not. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I made choices. I knew what I was doing. I made choices. I had to live with the consequences of those choices. When I sit down and eat a pizza in one sitting, or a bag of chips in one sitting, or guzzle 2 gallons of Coke in a day, I'm making a choice. It's my choice to make. I have a right to make that choice.
But people make that choice for different reasons. You know?
Regardless of what the reason is, it's still a choice you make.
Choice, yeah.
It's still a choice you make, unless there is a physiological condition.
Or an addiction. I mean, food is an addiction.
Food is an addiction, but addiction is also about choices.
It is, yeah.
It's also about choices. And I agree, food is an addiction. But when I heard that, you know, they didn't like the stereotype of fat and lazy and stuff like that, I understand that. But in a lot of cases, it is people making a choice not to get off the couch. It is people making that choice. So putting that stereotype out there it's a stereotype for a reason sometimes.
Well, I don't see how I did not go to Habit Heroes when it was the first time, but I don't see how those characters I would walk out of there. Yeah, and yes, I'm overweight. I would walk out of there thinking, okay, how is this going to motivate me? Well, I mean, it kind of.
Well, it's a different issue. That's a different issue.
Well, I know. I mean, just the characters themselves, you know, little chubby villains coming at you. I don't know.
The first time around, I really had a hard time. You know, I covered it, and I was going to come back and talk about it. And usually, you know, I come back and I always have glowing things to say about Disney attractions. And this was the first time, and I can't remember when, that I came back and I was troubled by it. I know I need to lose weight, but I don't need to go to Disney to have Disney tell me that I need to lose weight, which is how the first one was, like that you're sitting on the sofa and you're using the remote. I know I do that.
But Disney, I mean, a lot of Disney attractions talk about conservation, talk about healthy eating habits. There's a lot of edutainment that goes on, especially at Epcot.
This was a little more like in your face kind of a thing. And
well, see, I didn't say it so.
And it was like the lard bottom and just using some words that's
hurtful.
Yeah, especially, again, at Disney, that I don't think I need to go hear that. I don't need to hear somebody say, you know, I don't want to go use any of them words, but, you know.
You can make me cry if you do. Sit down.
You know, it's just, like I said, we all know that we need to lose weight. And I would bet you that the way that was before, more people were put off than went home and went, you know,
well,
since Disney.
Being put off because it's being presented in an insensitive manner is one thing. Making it about, you know, trying to equate it to a civil rights issue is a whole nother thing for me. That's what has me upset about that, is that, you know, no, discrimination is not right for any reason, under any circumstances. I don't care what the issue. I think we can all get behind that. I think most of us can anyway. Dustin, on the other hand, I don't think, you know, I think he embraces discrimination.
Oh my gosh.
You know, but in terms of, you know, what lacks in our general culture is a complete and utter lack of self-responsibility and taking responsibility for the choices that we make and the outcome and the consequences of those choices. And that, I think, when I see, you know, the National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance, to me that screams, don't take responsibility. I'm a victim. You're not a victim.
Right.
I'm not a victim of my addiction. I'm not a victim. I was a willing participant in it. And I'm a willing participant in my weight issue every time I make a choice to gobble down a bag of M&Ms. I'm a willing participant in that. Now, do I need to work on changing that? Absolutely. But it's about, I have to take responsibility for it. It's not the world's fault I'm fat. Right. It's my fault.
Well, I think what happened between when the first one came out is, I mean, it wasn't as politically correct as I would have liked it to be, but it's like, okay, knowing Disney, you know how Disney always tweaks things,
right.
that there was a chance that they could have done that. But it's like the minute it came out that Disney was insensitive to fat people, it just started this whole ball rolling.
Right.
And I think it got to the point that Disney had to close
Had
it.
to do something.
Even
Quickly.
though,
It went down quick, too.
Yes,
Well,
it did.
You know, it's kind of like what we were talking about in the news story about that class action lawsuit for the visually impaired, that Disney's a target for those sorts of attacks. And maybe in this case it was warranted. I don't know. I didn't see the original, but it has been reimagined. It has been redone completely. We sent Kathy and Teresa to do it. We sent Craig along with them with a video camera to
Good
capture images that will burn into your psyche
Oh, good
for
Lord,
the rest
please
of
no.
time.
I
Make it
can't
stop.
wait.
Make
It's
it stop.
priceless. It's priceless. Let's get ahead to the video.
The Diz Unplugged. Along here with Kathy, we're here at Epcot, and we're getting ready to go into Interventions to try the new Habit Heroes attraction. And we're going to try to get healthy and have a good time. You ready to go, Kathy?
I sure am.
All right, let's go in.
Let's go.
You with me? Let's go get healthy.
The training's not going to be easy. You may even break into a sweat. So what do you say? Are you in?
Today, we have 3 separate simulations to build up your hero potential. We want to see how you defend yourselves, defend the city, and then defend the world by battling destructive bad habit monsters.
Side to side, side to side. Good job. Reach, reach forward. Reach, reach forward. Good work. Go side to side again. Side to side. All right, we're gonna roll, punch, punch. Roll, punch, punch. Roll, punch, punch. Reach, reach forward. Now's the hour.
To build our power.
Very good, everyone.
You have to work together, so green has to work with blue, for example.
In this
My
last
power.
simulation, the unhealthy
My awesome
habits are not
power.
just attacking once. Each of you is holding a computerized alert resistance device, or card, as we like to call it.
Monsters are coming back in great numbers.
All right, everyone. Good job, everyone. We're going to head into the briefing room now. As we go, make sure you hand your card back to me. Not these.
I pledge to defend the defenseless
And to support my fellow heroes
and to support my fellow heroes
by building my healthy habit powers.
by building my healthy habit powers.
Congratulations, you are officially habit heroes. Give yourselves a hand.
Cool, it says habit.
And finally, we have the blue.
All right, so we open this up, right? I'm gonna put our little thingy on here. Yes. Okay. Now what the heck do we do with it? Look through the hole to find your destination. Our destination is Ellen's Energy Universe. Is that where yours is?
No, mine is
Ellen's Energy Adventure.
Mission Space.
Well, they're both in the same general area, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, let's head over to Ellen in Mission Space. We're going this way, right? Yeah. Okay. It's over there, right? Let's do yours first. If that's okay? Sure. Okay, so that's where you gotta go.
Yes. The word's green.
Green for what?
My bracelet.
What does that mean?
Because I'm being green.
So that's it. We come over here to see the word green.
Yes.
All right, well, let's go see what my word is.
What are we looking for on yours?
Over here, we're looking for. I'm gonna assume it's the word energy because it's right up underneath the little pointy thing with the ball stuck on it.
Haven't you ever seen the janitors? Janitors. They like janitors, but they're janitors.
Touch to begin. Report an in-park mission. Oh, what's my activity? I was red. And Enter the code word, energy, ENGERY.
Hold on.
Did I spell it wrong?
There we go. Now is the hour.
To build our power, right? Okay, I'll forget it by tomorrow. I'll forget it. Thank you.
As long as you remember.
Oh yes, this, and then there was something like this, and then there was another one which I didn't like, just grabbing the healthy food, right?
Yeah, because you know I put my vegetables on the top shelf too. All the time.
Thank you. All right. Habit heroes.
Fantastic.
That was funny.
Excellent. Excellent. For those who are listening to the show via audio, the video that Kathy and Teresa did will be available on our YouTube channel. Links to that and everything we discuss in the show on the show notes page on disunplugged.com. Great job on that, by the way.
Yeah.
What, you didn't think that was cute?
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Note to self: just hang back and let you handle it all.
Walk beside me, girl.
Okay.
I was
would
trying to get
al-
away from the cameraman who was like running along.
That was fun.
Craig did a great job with that.
Yeah,
he
he
did a
did.
great job putting that together. Thank you
did. It was
very much for that,
interesting.
Craig.
I would
So-
only do this experience after an entire drink around the world segment.
So tell us, kind of step us through it, and tell us what this is about and what it's like. We kind of got the idea from the video, but for those who did not watch the video, let's talk about that.
Well, Habit Heroes is in Interventions, and we were having the discussion east or west. It's on the side of guest relations as you come into Epcot. It's if you'd walk in the door as you came past guest relations and walked in, Stormstruck is first, and then you have Habit Heroes as you come around the corner. They let 12 people in at a time, and the difference between this version and the last version is now you go in the outdoor. They like flopped the attraction around. When you first went in, the old way it was themed like a locker room, and I thought they did a great job. But now I don't know, is there really any theming in there?
It's to me, it was like I don't know. You're stepping in this little, I don't want to say space age, but futuristic, because you had to stand on those little circles, and it showed your movement on the screen, which I thought was really cool. So we're all evenly spaced out, like because my first thought was, "Good Lord, they're going to make me exercise in front of all
that's
these people."
the room. That's the room that you used to exercise in. That after you did the other two rooms, and you came in there and you did jumping jacks and
Okay, well we
some
didn't.
things.
I mean,
Yeah.
we just did some basic movements. The lighting was dim enough, so I didn't feel totally
Very
out there.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
this is the Queen section of
It was very Freddie Mercury, Bohemian Rhapsody.
And the one that you stood on, you had a lot more light
Yeah, what,
on you.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that. Is that why you gave me that one and you moved
Yes,
to the back?
yes, that
Okay.
is.
And my daughter Grace was way over in the other corner, standing there, not moving at all. So she just kind of stayed out of it. But it was okay. The guy was the first time we did it, Kathy. The woman wasn't as animated as
No,
this
this guy
Matthew.
was really
This guy
good.
was really into it or playing the part well. And so you stand in there, you get introduced to the Habit Heroes team, which is Director Jen. She comes up on the screen, and she's the leader. She tells you what. Well, I'll just read this. The leader and role model takes the threat of health hazards seriously. That's why she created the Habit Heroes. Her primary mission in life for her family, however, and she always helps them maintain their responsible habits. And then there's 3 agents that you meet in that room. Agent Quench, whose specialty is hydration. Hush up.
His specialty is hydration.
Hydration, yes.
How convenient that his last name was Quench.
I know, isn't that cool?
at waterfountain.com.
Talk about a job
Isn't that
tailor-made
cool?
for him.
And then there's Agent Fuel, whose specialty is nutrition.
God.
And then there's Agent Dynamo, which is a little kid that's kind of irritated me. but
I
he
want
was
to be
okay.
Dynamo.
He's activity. He's going to get you exercising, and so you meet all those people, and then they show you the little movements to go through that kind of get you moving, which you saw in the video.
Take me to your leader.
Yeah, take me to your leader. And
Oh,
Is that what you had to say?
thank you for that drop-in.
No, but it was like when you're doing all these things, they were.
'Cause I'm not a
I felt
classic
like-
person.
That's true.
I felt like a Power Ranger. when I first, when we were doing all the movements, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, in comes the evil Power Ranger people, and we're going to kill them all. That kind of bugged me. That it was interesting, but it gets you moving.
And I think they should say a little bit, like, when we were standing outside waiting for the doors to open, they should have announced a little bit of what we would be doing when we went in.
Yeah, there was no prep. There was nothing. It was just open the doors and find your little circle to stand on and start with the, meet the team.
And I think the group of 12 that we were a part of this time was not as animated or as into the game.
They were not animated.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They weren't into it at all, where the first time we did it, they were really into it.
Well, I was the most animated person in the room, and I wasn't moving as much as...
I didn't want to shine,
Where were
brighter
you?
than you.
Craig, did you not shoot her behind me? What was the deal there?
My head was in
was
some
the
of those
lighting.
shots.
It was the lighting on my... Whoa. I mean, it's just, I didn't like that at all.
The lighting on your what?
My... like shining down on
She's
me.
on a roll today.
What the heck were you people filming?
Okay, anyway. So from there, we went into the next room, and that room reminded me of
Toy Story Midway
Toy Story.
Mania.
Yeah, it had the same little mechanism that you shoot the little in the Toy Story game, but you're shooting the villains in this room, right? And we each were assigned a color, or wherever you stood. It was either green, red, or blue, depending on if it was hydration, fuel, or what was the other one? I always forgot. Fuel, quench. Oh yeah, nutrition. And the little villain people come down, and we had to shoot them on the wall, and it was kind of cool. Sometimes we had to work as a team to get rid of villains. Other times we worked independently, and we were scored in that room. And Kathy pointed out that the 2 different times we did this, we ended up with the same score, which she thought was kind of odd.
Yeah.
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
It was.
Yeah.
But they also rate you by stars. And I thought the first time we did it, we got 5 stars, and this one yesterday it was only 4 stars.
It was only 4, but the total was the same, so it was kind of bizarre. So, but all along the way, they make you recite this little
pledge,
and I have it here because I found the app. There's an app. Kathy found this app on her phone.
What, for Habit Heroes?
Yes, it's an
Oh, really?
awesome app. Hang on, you got to hear this pledge. I recorded it this morning. They make you record it. Oh, hang on.
Is it your new ringtone?
No, it's not my new ringtone. Okay, here's the pledge. It'll come out here.
I pledge to defend the defenseless and support my fellow Habit Heroes by building my healthy powers of activity, hydration, and nutrition.
Were you in a tunnel?
I recorded it 3 times, and that's the way it came out. I don't know if it's just a
Are you
crappy app.
recording it within the app?
Yes.
So then the app is doing it. That's weird.
So anyway, but we had to do that little pledge, and then they would say, what would they say, Kathy?
I keep forgetting. You mean the build our power?
Yes.
Now is the hour to build our power.
And they'd
with
make
our
us-
bracelets. Oh, we got our bracelets at the end.
Yeah, we got our bracelets at the end.
And what do the bracelets do?
That was
That's
to
our
tell
power, baby.
Yeah, that was to tell you what mission we got once we got out of there. That's another one of the differences between version 2 and version 1 is now they have activities that you can do out in the park, which we'll get to.
So you don't get the bracelet until you're done walking around the park?
No, you get once you get to, there's 3 rooms. The first room, you learn the team, you learn the motions. The second room, you're zapping and you're practicing.
And I mentioned too that the guns you use for Toy Story, where you just pull the string. This you can either pull a string or hit a button on top.
So you have a choice of. I like
Okay.
the
So you don't
string.
get carpal
Yeah, because
tunnel.
the string,
Yeah.
it's more of a workout.
I like the string. So anyway, from there you go to the third room, and the third room has, I guess, the world
Yes.
around you on the wall, and they give you these little cards, and you have to go fight the villains, and
As they drop down from like the ceiling. And I was telling Teresa, there's also a hidden Mickey up there. If you see the Roman Colosseum, just look at it.
But you didn't see it when we were running around in
No,
there.
I found this when I was doing my research.
Because you do. If you actually participate in this, you are running around that little room, like with
I ran into Teresa going
with 11
fast.
other people running.
So, like running.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you're trying to you want to get the the villains before they drop on the city or the continent or wherever they're dropping. And everybody's card, there's 3 different color cards. So you had to look for your villain, and as they drop down, you had to run over to these different little areas and tap your card to kill the villain.
Oh, meet me in Mexico.
So, yeah.
And Teresa and I were like running around, and the rest of the people were sort of like going in slow motion.
Yeah, what was that about?
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to save the world. So was Teresa, and these people are like, okay.
Oh, what are we doing? Look at us. We're standing here in the dark with people we don't know. I didn't like that at all. You need to participate if you're doing this. And Grace was one of those, oh my gosh, this is so stupid. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. So from there, you go to a final room where it's a debriefing room. Yes, that's what it's called. And Agent Jen comes back up.
Did Craig film that too?
Yes.
And this is where you get your assignment if you choose to accept it. I don't know if she said that or not. I don't remember.
Very Mission Impossible.
Something along those lines.
Something along those lines. And you get to pick of the green, the blue, or the red bands. And then they give you these little cards. And you take this with a park map, and you go into and find out where...
Just for our listeners, go ahead and describe the card.
It's just a little, it's called Habit Heroes, and it's a mission, red mission, blue mission, or green mission.
And what you need is a park map, because the little cutout...
There's a cutout on the card.
Matches up to one of the buildings.
It's like the Goonies.
In Epcot. Yeah. And
So you place this card with the cutout on the map,
on a map
in a certain place, and then whatever is highlighted in the cutout is where you're supposed to go.
That's where you go, right.
And then you have to find the code word. There's something at that attraction that you have to hold your card up.
That's really cool. That's cute.
Like look through. And if you're a person who knows the parks fairly well, you can sometimes tell from just the little thing down on the bottom to find your code word where you need to go.
And then from there, after you get your code word, notice how it's spelled, so you spell it correctly.
You did that on purpose.
Oh, yeah, that's me. I'm all about that. So, and then you take it back to Habit Heroes, and outside there's look like little teller machines kind of standing there. Little kiosks. And you put in all your information. Excuse me. Kathy, you want to take it? I got a drink here.
You put in your information, and it's going to ask you for the code word, and then it gives you credit for having finished that mission. Now, if you're with a bunch of people, like Teresa and I, we each took a different color thing, so we could do all 3 if we wanted to. You can sign up that they'll send you mailings. Of course, I never get mine, but you can also go to the... Both times we've gone, I've used different email addresses, and I've never gotten...
I got it the first time. I didn't get it this time.
But there's habitheroes.com if you want to go. There's a comic book that has different...
It's very interesting. I was on the Habit Heroes... I downloaded the app on my phone this morning, and I think it's a work in progress. In the app, there's 3 comics.
It's a nice way of saying it sucks.
There's all 3. It's a wonderful idea, though. All 3, Agent Quench, Agent Fuel, and Agent Dynamo, I think each have a comic book. The first one, I think I did. Which did I do? I did Agent Dynamo is the first one, and you have to read through the comic. You have to actually read it on your phone. And then it opens up the app, and then you can actually do activities, and it records it. After I got done with it, it said, now go on to your activities. And it listed all these different things, running, biking, walking, and I chose walking. And then I hit start, and I just ran around my house and to see what it would do.
I wish I could have seen that.
And I got 40 points. Now, it's logging in my activity. And I think after... It's the only book on there right now is the first comic book. The second one, you're going to be able to log in your food choices, I believe. And it's going to be able to record that, and also how much water you're intake is.
I'll tell you something. Nothing helps adjust your eating choices more, I think, than logging what it is you're eating.
Oh, definitely.
And when you're forced to kind of take a look at it, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I tried that for a whole week. My sister does it like every day. She's counting what she's eating, and okay, I can't eat this because I ate that, counting her calories. It's intense.
Stop talking, you're skinny.
I said my sister.
She's
skinnier, but that's how she does it.
That's cool.
Well, the purpose of this is it says it teaches families to work together to unlock their healthy habit power. And again, that's another one of those things that, maybe you've never had that conversation with your family or your kids. And maybe by going in this ride, that gets you starting to talk about it. And then the other thing, the purpose of this is we all have to work together to save the world from these bad habit monsters. The attraction reminds guests that everyone is responsible for health choices as individuals within their family and community.
Thank you. Which is what I was saying before.
Mm-hmm.
That it is about, and I realize I'm not saying these choices are easy choices to make, because we fall into patterns and habits of, that are lifelong, that start in some cases when we're kids and just carry on through adulthood. And so I'm not suggesting these choices are easy ones to break. They're not. But what I like about something like this is it, at least, as you said, starts the conversation. Whether it's with your kids or yourself, it starts the conversation. And that, I think, is, especially interventions, that area of Epcot is really good at.
Yeah.
How long did this take from start to finish without stopping to see the Jaminators?
Jaminators.
It's supposed to. It's supposed to take.
Jaminators? Well, they weren't jamming.
That's a different group. It's supposed to take 16 minutes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It seemed longer.
How long did it take y'all?
Wait, 16 minutes, including walking over to Mission Space?
No,
Lord,
no. That's
Oh,
just
okay,
in the
okay.
building.
Okay.
That was about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fast paced, and if you did it correctly and did it the way that I think Disney intended you to do it, you would be moving. I mean, it would be like a little,
Yeah, we did. I mean,
yeah.
Did you walk out of there with any insight or knowledge that you didn't have going in?
I didn't, but a child might. With the they're talking about the hydration and fuel. They didn't really give you any of the classic information you would get, like the food pyramid that used to be and all of that. But I think I walked out of there, wanting to, before, I was thinking about this before this also. It was a good way to incorporate the family working together as,
And I'm always a big fan of being able to slip it past your kids, that they don't realize that they're learning something when they go in there. And I thought it was corny, but the one bad guy were the Scorchers, you had the Sappers, you had Blocker Bots. So the kids were thinking that they were playing a video game to a point.
Yeah.
But they were also learning about healthy choices and things you should do, and maybe their parents had never been exposed to that, so hopefully a lot of parents walked out of there.
And the way it was all presented in almost like a like a comic, so it was appealing, I think. And I think the app and the website, if they get it tweaked out and working, will really help, because if it's going to involve you in doing more things. And there was also a thing on the app which I couldn't open up because it's still locked, because I don't think it's there yet, is activities to do within the park, within Disney. So that was,
because they show you holding like an iPhone as you're walking through the park, so there's
got to be something coming. There has to be, because but starting now, I signed myself on. Stella and I are going to start it, and we're going to do little activities around the house and walking, doing whatever we can.
Grace wasn't into it?
No, Grace, no. She's not into it. But Stella and I, everybody has a different. Grace is more active than we are. Stella is more sedate, like I am. What was the blocker bot that pushes your energy down? There was one that attacks you. He attacks me all the time.
Blocker bot.
There's something that attacks me that keeps me on the couch and won't let me get up.
The Scorchers were animated flames that dry you out. The Sappers were things that weigh you down and sap your energy.
Okay, that's the one I got.
Blocker Bots were many armed monsters that stand between you and healthier food choices.
I have them too.
Yeah.
But the way the whole cartoon worked, it was interesting. It was presented in such a way I think anyone could understand it.
Yeah,
and motivate you.
And it wasn't preachy like the first one was.
No, there was nothing preachy about it.
Yeah, the first one was more like, you're just...
You're little fat people.
Yeah, kind of thing. Yeah.
Eat a salad. Take a walk.
Yeah.
Because they never in this told us what the healthy choices were.
No.
They never said, eat a grape, don't eat an M&M. They never said anything like that. So
therefore, Teresa assumes that M&Ms are healthy.
I am starving right now. I really am. This is like...
We always do this, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So some food discussion.
Like a restaurant review. I'm starving after those, too.
But I don't know. I walked away with a couple of ideas, I think, that we're going to incorporate maybe. I got to thinking, before you go on vacation, at least I do, and I know there's probably other women out there like me, maybe men too. I don't know. I can't speak for anybody but myself. You want to get healthy, and you want to look a certain way when you go on vacation.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how you got your vacation clothes. You want to look good, Sean. So you want to get, you know what I mean?
Yeah. How did I get dragged into this?
I'm trying to bring you into the conversation,
okay.
sweetie. Okay, so
Yes, I do that. Yeah.
But you know how that's how it is for me. So I am thinking, I've set a goal for myself. We're going on this cruise in August.
Right.
I want to be, and I do this before every vacation, but I want to stick to it this
like
time.
your goal.
My goal, yeah.
trip.
I have a goal. By our cruise in August, I want to be a healthier me. I don't know what the weight is. Don't know what the
Right.
goal is. I mean, I don't have a set goal
And that's
weight.
a good goal. Say
Yeah.
just a healthier you.
Just a
and not
healthier
like I want to
me.
be this weight, and then you're
that weighs maybe 50 less pounds. You know, that's so. But I'm also going to and do this for Stella too. So we're going to do it together, even though she's not going on the cruise.
And I'm
going
to do it on the other side of town, and I'll do it with Katie.
We're going to do walking is a good way to start. I've got my bike, which some people who shall remain nameless make fun of my bike. You know who you are, Mr. Travis. But I just think we just need to get more active because I tend to. I mean, I sit at a desk all day.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I know.
it's
That's
tough.
a big issue.
But I
sit
mean,
at a desk, and it's right near the kitchen. And
I
boy,
can-
howdy, it's easy to just get that food and
I
Boy,
can
I was
remember-
waiting for the boy howdy.
I can remember living in Pennsylvania thinking, like, before I came down here on vacation, you know, in Pennsylvania, we had a lot of hills and stuff that you don't get out and just walk every night. I started walking some before I would come down here on vacation because you know how much walking you do when you're in the parks.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And you go, you know, get to your hotel room and you're just exhausted at night.
and can
But if-
barely get up the next morning. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I can't. You know, you just keep pushing through. But so
I
you-
lost like 10 pounds in Europe, literally.
Yeah.
We
And then-
walked all over the place.
We walked all over London. I mean, the
Yeah.
ABD trips. I mean, you do a lot of walking. So, yeah, that's one of the things that I have trouble getting motivated to do. I've got a treadmill here in the house. And for a little while I was using it, and then I stopped. And, you know, I have to get back into it again. So
Yeah.
when you brought this up, I was like, you know, I think this is really good. You know, motivate each other.
Yeah, and you
And-
really do need to get as physically fit as you can before you go on a vacation where you're doing a lot of walking or a lot of eating. I mean, I want to have room to eat some non-healthy foods. So you know, I want to
Right.
because who wants to bloat up like
Well,
a,
that's
you know,
that's the thing is that what I've tried to do with varying levels of success this time around, and it's one of the reasons I, for the most part, have kept it off. I've put about 6 pounds back on, and I'd like to take those off. But what I did this time was no shakes, no powders, no pills, no nothing. I didn't want any of that. It's about trying to develop different habits and choices in terms of what I eat, in terms of what I eat, and being a little bit more active. Now, one of the things Sean and I picked up, I don't know if Dustin, if you can come to my shot. For those watching on video, this here is a Nike Fuel Band, and we'll have a link to it in the show notes page, but it's really cool. It actually, you set a goal for yourself on it.
It lights up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it has
no,
a display.
It's got display. I don't think it's going to show up on
It
camera.
might.
It's got a display,
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
and
What's it telling us?
well, it's you have
It's saying you're sitting right now.
You have-
Stand up.
you have 4 different readings. First, you have your fuel reading, which is like Nike points. So based on how much you're moving that day, you set a goal of how much Nike fuel you want to, how many points you want to get that day. Mine's set for 3,000. I rarely hit it. But the other thing it shows you is the number of calories you burned today based on your movement.
Oh, that could
and-
be telling, won't it?
Then the number of steps you've taken today. And then finally, it's a watch. It's a clock. It's got the time on it.
Now, what
my
does something like this
gosh.
run?
And this was
I think it's 150.
$149.
Does it come in stylish colors?
There are 3. So there's black, like Pete has. It's just the matte black. And then there's like a see-through black, and then a see-through white.
And when you take it off, it is a USB connection.
Oh my
So
gosh!
yeah,
you charge.
That's pretty clever.
You charge it by plugging it into your computer. It also then downloads the information. It syncs up with your iPhone.
Yeah, the best thing is the app. It keeps track of everything. You can sync it across Bluetooth.
Right.
Wow.
And
I added this on Pinterest. I think it was still concept when so it's nice to see it.
And it is
in action.
Absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
And, you're talking about getting healthy for vacation. But also, when you're on vacation, there's a lot of things you can do, especially down here. The places you can walk.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, definitely.
Disney has made huge strides at their counter service in terms of offering alternatives that are less offensive
Yeah.
than the burgers and the fried chicken. But, for me, in terms of changing my habits, it wasn't about eliminating all those things from my diet. Sometimes I want a piece of fried chicken. So having a piece or two is okay. Sometimes I want a slice of pizza. Having a slice or two is okay.
So that's where I can
It's when I
stop.
sit down
Yeah.
and eat the entire pie. It's when I sit down and eat the entire box of Publix fried chicken, which I have done.
Yeah.
So, trying to just, put a little bit in. Like, a lot of times I'll order a dessert with dinner and then I'll take 2 bites of it and let everybody else share it. So that it's not sitting there staring at me, but I still get the taste in my mouth. I get the satisfaction of having tried it.
Learning to, portion control is my issue.
Exactly. It's tough. And like I said, these choices aren't easy to break. These habits aren't easy to break.
Oh, I know.
For me, I think I always try to say, okay, if it's in my bedroom, if I buy an elliptical machine, put it in my bedroom, I'll use it. And then I buy the one that folds up. So now it's folded up in the corner, and we hang clothes on it, and also trying to adjust your diet where, okay, I'm cutting out all the carbs, I'm cutting out all this, I'm going to drink a shake in the morning. It's crazy. I'm setting myself up for failure.
I think I would set myself up for failure if I tried to cut out everything
No, you
that I
can't.
love.
Right.
I can't do that.
Nope, can't
I've
do
got to
it.
I've got to have certain things. I mean,
The key for me is probably the most difficult word in my vocabulary: moderation.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
I'm not a moderate person. I do everything to extremes. I'm very black and white. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm either all in or all out. So that has been my challenge in changing my habits. And I did really well up until the holidays. And then there was a lot of emotional stuff going on over the holidays. And, with Max dying and some other things happening in my life. And, I used to say I was not someone who ate emotional. I wasn't an emotional eater. Apparently I am.
Yeah.
Apparently I am.
Yeah.
And so,
It's comfort. Food is a comfort.
it can be. It can be. Absolutely. I could maybe stand to be a little less comfortable. But so
Easier
when
said
you
than done.
it is easier said than done. Absolutely. Absolutely. None of this is easy, and that's why something Kevin said a few months ago on the show was that, and I really related to this, is that you start this process where you start changing your habits, and then one day you screw up.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you get it in your head, okay, well, I failed, so I might as well just go back to doing what I was doing. Trying not to do that.
Right.
Saying, okay, you know what, I made a bad choice here, but that doesn't invalidate everything I'm trying to do, and I'll try and do better on the next choice. And because I can beat myself up mercilessly when I'm doing this stuff, which only makes me want to act out on food more.
Yes.
And
Makes you want to eat more?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh,
I call it
yeah.
acting out because
Yeah.
it really is. It's like
Oh, yeah. I
when
can't wait for people to go to, family go to bed so I can go out in the kitchen and,
Yeah.
eat by myself.
Yeah. And it is. And it is.
It's a sad world for me, Sean.
This is like true
All of
confessions.
this is sad.
But no,
I start crying.
But it's not. But the whole idea though is because Teresa and Kathy had brought up the idea about doing a series of shows about getting healthy for your vacation and being healthy when you're on vacation, which I think is a great idea, and I want to participate. I think we can all do it.
Yeah.
I think finding some great places to walk on property.
Yeah.
And talking about, I find it when I have something to look at. So, walking around at Disney is
Yes.
not a chore.
No, it isn't.
No, it's
It's not a chore.
No, it's a different.
And so, and that's why, I look forward to the times when we're going to be out in Disneyland or we're going to be doing a hotel review because I know I'm going to be walking around a lot. And so I think it's all good. And I think, doing it together to that
you have
helps too.
support. Yeah, you have to have someone.
And then, also don't overlook the wish boards. The We're Inspired to Stay Healthy forums on disboards.com. Amazing, 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 amazing group of people on that board. It's really supportive. And so I think, I've got my goal. I would like to lose another 10 to 15 pounds to become, and I feel that's reasonable for me. Originally, I wanted to be like 180, and that's just not going to happen. Or maybe it will, just not right now.
I think for me, it's going to be, 10 pounds here, 10 pounds there. I don't want to say I want to lose 60
Right,
pounds
I don't
because
wanna
that's
do
like
that.
absolutely, oh my
It
God,
feels-
it's going
it
to take
feels
forever.
insurmountable, yeah.
Yeah,
But
don't
for-
weigh yourself every day either.
Yeah, that's
once
something
a
else
week.
I do. But 10 pounds here, 10 pounds there, 5 pounds. Every little bit gets
I
me
just
healthier.
feel better if I knew that I was eating better and that I was out walking more.
Yeah. And I think as Stella and I do it together, I think it will help each other. So.
Well, this is great. Great discussion. Great segment on Habit Heroes, and fantastic video. I absolutely love that. And like I said, you can check out links to this and everything we discuss in our show on our show notes page, disunplugged.com. That will do it for this segment. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be back with you again next time with another edition of the Diz Unplugged. Thanks for being with us, everyone, and remember, stay out of the damn refrigerator.